The Secret of the Abandoned Station, Episode 11. James felt a chill run down his spine as he stepped back into the eerie platform of Grey Hollow Station. The once familiar surroundings now felt twisted and distorted, as if the station itself was alive, watching his every move. The blue mist that had seeped through the cracks in the walls now swirled thickly, obscuring his vision. He gripped the lantern tighter, its flickering light casting long shadows that danced menacingly around him. As he moved cautiously along the platform, he noticed the clock in the distance. Its hands, once frozen in place, now spun wildly, creating a low, ominous hum that reverberated through the station. James's heart raced. He knew that whatever lay ahead was different from the mysteries he had encountered before. The air felt heavy, and every step he took echoed loudly, as if the station was amplifying his movements. He followed the familiar path towards the massive iron doors he had discovered in the earlier episodes. To his surprise, they were slightly ajar, a faint blue glow emanating from within. His instincts told him to turn back, but the pull of the mystery was too strong. With a deep breath, he pushed the door open and stepped inside. The room beyond was unlike any he had seen. The walls were lined with ancient runes that glowed softly, pulsating with a rhythm that felt like a heartbeat. At the center of the room stood a massive stone altar, and above it floated a translucent hourglass, its sand swirling upwards. The eerie blue light illuminated the entire chamber, casting an otherworldly glow. As James approached the altar, the hourglass began to spin, and the sand inside shifted from blue to a deep, shadowy black. The air grew colder, and James could feel the presence of something sinister. The shadows around the room grew longer, stretching towards him. He felt a tug on his consciousness, as if the shadows were trying to pull him into the depths of the station's secrets. Suddenly, a whisper echoed through the chamber. "Time has no meaning here, James. You are trapped in the web of the past and the future." The voice was familiar, yet distorted, as if coming from multiple directions at once. James looked around, trying to locate the source of the voice, but all he saw were the shadows shifting and twisting. He knew he had to act quickly. The glowing hourglass was the key to escaping, but it was also the source of the power binding the station's dark magic. He reached for the hourglass, but as his fingers brushed against it, a surge of energy jolted through him. The shadows sprang to life, wrapping around his arms and legs, trying to drag him into the darkness. Fighting against the pull, he remembered the glowing key he had kept with him. With his free hand, he pulled it out and aimed it at the hourglass. The key responded, emitting a bright light that cut through the shadows. The whispers grew louder, and the shadows hissed, retreating momentarily. James pushed forward, pressing the key into a slot on the altar below the hourglass. The room trembled, and the sand within the hourglass began to slow its swirling. A blue portal opened above the altar, and James knew this was his chance. With a final push, he leapt through the portal, leaving the shadows and the station behind. The sensation of falling enveloped him, and the world around him blurred into streaks of blue light. When he finally landed, he found himself back on the train platform, but something was different. The station was silent, and the clock, now still, read a different time than before. As James caught his breath, he realized that he had been transported not just in space, but in time. The platform, though familiar, bore signs of age and neglect that hadn't been there before. The mystery of Grey Hollow Station was far from over, and James knew that the next step would take him deeper into the past of the station itself. Next episode preview. In episode 12, James discovers a hidden journal left by a previous traveler who tried to escape the station's time loop. The journal contains cryptic messages and warnings, hinting at an ancient ritual that must be completed to break the cycle. As James deciphers the clues, he realizes that his journey through time is linked not only to his own fate, but to the countless souls trapped within the station's walls. New element. A mysterious figure dressed in an old conductor's uniform begins to appear in the shadows, watching James's every move. Is he a friend or foe? James must decide whether to trust him as he ventures further into the depths of the station's secrets. Let me know if you'd like to proceed with the illustrations for this episode.